AI transformer systems are a game-changing technology that's going to have a disruptive impact on education. Essentially, they are highly trained language systems. They've been trained on millions of pieces of text, on blogs, on digitized books, on web pages, the whole of Wikipedia. And it produces automatically an internal representation of that, a neural network. And then once it's been trained at huge expense, then it can be used quite cheaply to digitally produce new text. You can give it a prompt, such as an essay question, the start of the story, and it will continue in that same style, or it will answer the essay question. It's as simple as that. You type in the prompt, you press submit, and it comes back with a few hundred words of text. You can then add another prompt and it will continue, and so on. So it's an enormously powerful language machine. These new systems are cheap, they're easy to use, and they're very low cost. And students are already getting access to them, and that will only increase over the next few months and years. So it seems to be a fascinating time that AI has had an influence on education for many years, but it's mainly been educator controlled. What's different about this is that there's an AI technology that's in the hands of students, and potentially really powerful, that students can use it to generate text, images, videos. So it's a creative tool. And there's two ways of looking at that. One is that it's incredibly disruptive. So students could and already are using these technologies to, for instance, write essays for them. On the other hand, it is an immensely powerful tool. So just to give you some examples. So firstly, students could use these sorts of tools to focus on what's important in writing for academia, on the structure, on the argumentation, on trying to bring together multiple sources with the aid of the AI technology, and leave the surface elements like style, expression, spelling to the AI technology. So that's one way. I think another way is for the academic, the lecturer, the teacher, to work with a group of students using the AI as a tool for expressing different approaches, different arguments, and then getting the students to critique these as a group. So I think there are a number of different ways that students can use these powerful creative tools. And what we need to do now, I think, as academics, as educators, is not to respond negatively to them. We do need to adjust the way in which we're going to assess students. We can't just carry on before, assuming that what students write is going to come entirely from their own heads. We have to assume that students are going to be augmented by AI, but to look at ways in which that can be done constructively and creatively. It's really important that students become more critical consumers of knowledge and develop critical digital literacy. As we know, the internet has a huge amount of resources, but it's very difficult to make sense of that, both in terms of the accuracy and also the topicality of that material, and to understand implicit and subtle biases. One of the issues with AI transformer systems, these new AI technologies, is that they reflect the bias in society and the text written by society at large. They've been trained on literally millions of pieces of text. Now, you might think that the more training these systems have, the more they will be accurate, unbiased. In fact, the opposite is true, that the more they are trained, the more they reflect the bias that's inherent in society. So it's really important now to develop a new form of critical digital literacy where AI is a player in that type of literacy. So one way to do that is to, for example, get AI transformer systems to generate pieces of text, persuasive essays on a topic, and then work with the students to critique those, to find out what are the flaws, what are the biases, what are the inaccuracies in them. Because in essence, these systems are amoral. They are hugely expert wordsmiths. They really know how to produce text, but what they don't have is an underlying model of how the world works. They don't know what's accurate, legal, decent, honest. And so the new critical digital literacy will be about testing these systems, testing the outputs, and working to critique what they are producing as test beds for a new literacy.